your name.
To work off some of this energy, y'all up. We doing this dumb thing, y'all just be doing.
Yep. Let's go, genius. Get it right. Yep.
So what that means, y'all have the opportunity to do what? Yeah, so what y'all can do?
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority Workers Union is demanding answers on the progress of its industrial agreement. Plus, a grieving Abaco mother claims that a local funeral home director gave her dirt instead of her son's ashes. And social workers highlighting child protection on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Simone Davis. Thank you so much for watching. Topping news tonight, the Grand Bahama Port Authority Workers Union is fighting for their industrial agreement to be signed. Wage increases, remuneration pay, and the overall rights of union workers are among their grievances, and they are threatening to take legal action if it's not signed within the coming weeks. Here's that report.
These issues arise from union busting, unfair termination, back pay, as I said, and the contract being signed for the next 3 years.
That is Union President Corey Cartwright, who says the negotiation process for this industrial agreement has unnecessarily lingered for far too long without progress.
From 2017 has been an uphill battle, and we are now calling for the board, the executive chief members of Carnival and Royal Caribbean to step in and aid us in this situation for the removal of the existing administration, as they have failed to give good word and confirmation on what Davis Galberry and his team have claimed that they are prepared to do.
Ellie Kindro Florisma has been employed at the Grand Bahama Shipyard for over 20 years now. He says the uncertainty of his job security is frightening.
It's very frustrating because it's something that should have been done already. This is almost 6 years now or more that we have been waiting without a contract. We already went through the pandemic, we already went through hurricanes, and it's almost like we are on the back burner. Like the members of the union just don't matter.
The union president charges that those responsible are only setting Grand Bahamians back, especially those who are qualified to do their jobs.
Freeport has been suffering, and nobody is paying attention to how the terminations, especially in the Labor Department, are happening. Not blaming labor, but the shipyard, if they look at the shipyard records, it goes for itself. Even to the recent firing 2 years ago or a year ago of Mr. Greg Sanders Jr., who was a good manager. Why was he terminated and a foreign aid brought on? What are you saying to the Bahamian people? This job is not for you? Are we going back to the days of slavery?
We reached out to the Grand Bahama Shipyard, but no one was available for comment at this time. In other news, an Abaco woman is making claims against a Grand Bahama man who claims to be a funeral home director. The woman charges that following her son's death in 2021, she hired the alleged funeral director to prepare her son's remains for cremation. And after she sent the body from Abaco to Freeport, and after months of getting the runaround, she demanded that her son's remains be sent back to her. However, to her horror, she claims she received dirt in a container instead of her son's ashes. Here's that report. Julie Russell is still grieving the loss of her son, Captain Chase Russell, who set sail from Abaco during a voyage with several visitors on the island back in 2021. However, he never returned alive.
The American people take him in the boat to carry him out to sea. They vanished 2 days after he died. I went to the police station, asked for an investigator. The investigator told me, straight in my face, Ain't nothing coming out of this. It ain't make no sense to investigate the situation. So I asked him, how could a person came back in the boat dead and y'all gonna let them tourists go out the country the same 2 days after? Anyway, the autopsy came back, a little falls to the head.
Russell says while making funeral arrangements, she contacted a known funeral home director on Grand Bahama to collect Chase's body from the morgue for cremation. However, she claims her son's body was left at the morgue for weeks, and she had a hard time contacting the director after sending him nearly $8,000 to cremate her son. Russell claims that when Chase's body was finally collected, she was once again given the runaround on when she would receive his ashes. That's when she grew even more frustrated and demanded that the funeral home director send her son's body back to Abaco. She alleges that he sent her a package, but what was supposed to be her cremated son looked like a container filled with dirt.
I know from day one how you take long to come for his body. Something was wrong.
She says she has sought help from police but did not get a resolution, and now she just wants to know what that funeral home director did with her son's body.
My life is not the same no more. I even don't want to go out in public. I isolate myself in this house. I just want my child remain where I could put him to rest, please. Because that was not my son, what I saw in that container.
We were unable to locate the alleged funeral director for comment, but this is a story that we will continue to follow. The month of April is observed as National Child Protection Month. Here on Grand Bahama, ZNS Health Zone, hosted by our own Shashina Roll Farquharson, highlighted issues that social workers have to deal with on a daily basis. The focus of the month, child safety and awareness.
It was discovered by our ZNS News that the Grand Bahama Children's Home has reached its capacity, and thus the need for more residents of this island to become involved in caring for these abused, neglected, and abandoned children of Grand Bahama. Chief Social Worker Jody Burrows revealing some startling statistics concerning the abused, abandoned, and neglected children in 2022, which amounted to 122 cases, additionally shedding light on new cases in 2023.
So far for the year that brought us up to March of this year, we had 8 cases of physical abuse for the year between January and March, 5 cases of sexual abuse, and 18 cases of neglect so far for the year, and that brought us up to the end of March. So we're not talking about the cases that we have seen for the month of April thus far.
While there has been a clarion call for more persons to get involved in the process of fostering, mentoring, and adopting children from the Grand Bahama Children's Home, Mrs. Burrows explained what constitute neglect of a minor.
Neglect cases could be anywhere from children being left unattended, underage children being left unattended for long periods of time, where children are going to school, being unkempt. We get reports from the school where they're saying the children are untidy. Maybe it is that maybe dirty. They don't have lunch. They're always complaining about something going on in the home. Maybe it is as simple as not getting food.
For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Christine Pinder.
Meantime, 22-year-old Princess Dorset and 35-year-old Christopher Curry, both residents of Lewis Yard, arraigned in Freeport Magistrates Court for procreation and abetment to unlawful sexual intercourse involving a 13-year-old girl. They were not required to enter a plea, bail was denied, and both of them remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until June 20th of this year. And police need your help in locating a missing man. Officers on Grand Bahama are busy searching for 40-year-old Ricardo Anton Riley of 51 Amberjack Street. Riley was last seen on March 25th of this year. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, light brown complexion, weighs 160 pounds, low black and gray haircut, and is slim built. Anyone spotting him should contact Police Emergency at 911, National Crime Prevention Office at 302-8430 or 1, Crime Stoppers at 352-1919, 350-3106, or Family Islands at 300-8476. The Grand Bahama Christian Council meeting with the family of Bishop Huden Roberts, who passed away recently, to lend their support. They remember him as a beloved husband, father, and warrior for God. Shane Stubbs has more in this report.
Bishop Huden Roberts was a beloved pillar in the community, and the Grand Bahama Christian Council is honoring his memory. The council holding a brief but special and intimate memorial, reminiscing about their former comrade. As a native of High Rock, Bishop Arnold Pinder remembers growing up with Huden Roberts. He says that Roberts was a man of many talents, and he recalls that Bishop Huden Roberts looked out for him and made sure that he did not fall by the wayside.
A bass player, guitar player, keyboard player, a teacher, a singer. The second time I came to Christ over 40 years ago, Rudy was there to lead me back to Christ.
And sharing in what is a great loss for the High Rock community, GB Christian Council President Kenneth Lewis says it's not easy to lose such a long-time fixture such as Roberts, and felt it necessary to lend a shoulder to widow Minister Jan and the family.
We are here to let Sister Jan know that our brother, your husband, Bishop Huden Roberts, was one of us.
Yes.
He was a general in the army of the Lord. We are here not only to commend him to God, but to thank God for him and to let you know, Sister Jan, that you are not alone.
Also, as a fellow musician playing alongside Roberts back in the day, Bishop Cardinal McIntosh offered these words of encouragement to the bereaved family.
He's gone on to be with the Lord. The journey continues. And so therefore we pray your strength, your courage, your wisdom that's necessary for this transition, even as Moses was seen again on the Mount of Transfiguration. It just speaks to the fact that there is a reunion, and this is simply temporary.
A special memorial service will be held at Shekinah Christian Ministries International April 27th at 6 p.m. and the funeral will take place April 29th at St. John's Jubilee Cathedral at 10 a.m. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks, Shane. The Freeport City Council focusing on hurricane preparedness. That story and more when we come back.
Gents, Mother's Day is coming up, and I'm thinking about upgrading my kids' mother's kitchen.
Man, I thought your children's mother was married to another man. You have to know when to let go. This is powerful. You know what? I'm going to upgrade my wife's kitchen for Mother's Day. I am sure she would love that.
I think so too. Check out Cornet Bahamas. They're having a pre-Mother's Day sale, 35% off store-wide starting April 16th through May 16th. The Sandy Port Plaza, Freeport, Albuquerque, and Ilu.
List your home in Grand Bahama with HG Christie. Visit their new office in the Port Lucaya Marketplace. HG Christie, celebrating over 100 years of service.
Officer Bo! Officer Bo! You would not believe what I just saw.
What's up, Chris?
As I was doing my community service, I saw this truck going down this road. You would not believe the stuff he was throwing out. He was throwing out tires, refrigerators, TVs, even mattresses.
Calm down, Chris, calm down. Did the truck leave the area yet?
No. It was a big man in a reddish colored truck, and he's still there. I just ran out to the main road to call somebody because I did not want to arrest him by myself. your nasty self. You know who you are. Stop like your nastiness. So do your part to keep Grandmama clean. And don't let this be you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's your girl Gigi, and it's the Morning Brew Show, and you're gonna love it. Come on, let's dance right into the afternoon with your favorite mix of Afro beats and Caribbean hits. Join me every morning at 8 a.m. to 12 noon as we talk about the latest hot topics, hot tea, and what's going on in the community. Come on, man, let's dance right on into the afternoon with your favorite hits. It's the Morning Brew Show with your girl Gigi on Power 104.5 FM.
Is everybody back up in the building? It's been a minute, tell me how you're healing. Cause I'm about to get into my feelings. How you feeling? How you feel right now?
I show up, lit up the place, put out the blaze, smile on she face. She called me right on time, I shall fire my 919. Whatever you
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
That's what I told her. Bring the winding thing here. This is Rick and Script, so show me emotion. Hey, wind and go down low.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The City of Freeport Council to host a hurricane preparedness training seminar this Friday, April 21st at 5 p.m. and again on Saturday, April 22nd at 10 a.m. at the St. George's Gymnasium. Chief Counselor Fraser Gibson says the training sessions will cover areas such as disaster preparedness and basic first aid courses, just to name a few.
We are excited about this new shift in Grand Bahama. The City of Freeport Council has started its initiative with hurricane preparedness since last year, and we intend to intensify that by some other new initiatives that we have in the pipelines that we will announce as it near June 1st, which begins hurricane season.
Presenters will include volunteers traveling from the United States, along with the new co-chair for the Grand Bahama Disaster Consultative Committee, Clifton Francis.
No matter what it is, be it a tropical storm, be it a flood, we have persons whose roofs are still not fixed, but we have to be able to keep prepared. We have to encourage the residents to come out to the training so that they can be able to help themselves, even though we at the committee will be doing the best we can. We also need the community to do their part as well.
Well, April is Coastal Awareness Month, and the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation is touring schools throughout Grand Bahama to educate students about the importance of keeping the coastline clean. Officials making an exciting presentation at Mary Star of the Sea Catholic Academy today. Our Raven Davis was there.
An engaging and highly interactive presentation happening at Mary Star of the Sea Catholic Academy as the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation brings Coastal Awareness Month into focus. Senior Tourism Executive Alana Robinson says the initiative was recently re-implemented by the ministry and this time around targets the children who quite often influence adults to practice the tenets of sustainable tourism.
So we wanted to teach them about the importance of keeping our coastlines clean, and we wanted to mention the 5 threats to our coastlines, some of the more important ones being like overfishing and pollution.
The ministry intends to visit schools from East to West End, but as far as today, Robinson says the session was a huge success.
If you teach the children from a young age about these things, then when they get older, they tend to be more mindful of protecting our environment. And then, of course, from a tourism point of view, once our environment is clean, tourists want to come back over and over again. It was really fun to see that they were paying attention and they could say back all of the threats that I mentioned, you know. So just hearing them actually say it again and all the questions. Oh, they were very smart kids.
And with the Bahamas heavily dependent on tourism, Robinson emphasizes the importance of preserving the environment and securing the Bahamas as a leading destination.
And people visit and when they go scuba diving, things like that, that our oceans are actually preserved. Because one of the biggest problems is the people come and they don't find it the way they used to. They came 50 years ago and there were like lush coral reefs, and now when they come back, it's all broken or dead. And we want to try to restore it. We want to try to preserve it for our future. And we want to stand out.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Thanks, Raven. The Downtown Freeport Business Association collaborating with both the public and private sector for the first of several initiatives aimed at further revitalizing the downtown area while bringing the community wholesome activity. Officials explaining during a press conference on Thursday that the first Food Truck Saturday launch will be held on April 29, 2023, and will also provide a platform for children to display their unique talents.
All of the schools that are participating in the National Arts Festival will have an opportunity to showcase their talent on this wonderful day, as well as giving our food truck operators, as well as other vendors, an opportunity to showcase their fare and their wear. I envision this as a celebration of festival that will be a calendared event that other islands will follow.
I've always been saying to everyone that I come in contact with that now is the time to have a business downtown. Now is the time to invest in downtown, because I know that, you know, there's going to be so much that's going to be happening in the downtown area. So it is very important that we support these types of initiatives, because it's going to benefit so many of our people, so many of our small businesses. And I applaud you in your efforts, but also to see that we're incorporating our young people and the talent that they possess.
Officials from the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce expressing their delight to be able to support this upcoming event.
Each new business that has opened its doors all contribute to making downtown Freeport the preferred business center for commerce. Now today, GBPA is extremely excited to partner with other key corporate stakeholders here present to announce yet another initiative that we hope will become a staple on Freeport's community calendar.
Business can hardly survive without community, and vice versa. So we're very excited about this. The concept of a food truck park is something new and novel in our part of the world.
Your evening check on sports is next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to another exciting edition of sports right here in the North. Bahamas Basketball Federation Nationals wrapped up on the weekend. Also some updates from Abaco from their flag football league. But let's begin right here on Grand Bahama with Special Olympics. Special Olympics Bahamas took part in the Curfew Games over the Easter break in New Providence. Doris Knowles competed in the very first Curfew Games 50 years ago, and now she's serving as one of the coaches for Special Olympics Bahamas.
Knowing that we trained really, really hard, and Justin was able to perform at that level, it was a great feeling to know that hard work really pays off. This training is was for the trip to the World Games, which is in Berlin, Germany. That's going to be held on the 12th of June to the 26th. And the team would be selected, I guess, anytime soon. So we will know exactly who will be traveling. Hopefully that they would be able to work together.
Winning the silver medal in both the 100 and 200 meter dash was Justin Lightning Miller. Capturing the bronze was Xavier Roll. Both athletes are from Grand Bahama.
I know I did my best. I did also feel really nervous, but like after the gun went off, all that went away and I just take off. It did felt really nice when I was hearing the junk canoe going off in the background. That felt nice. To my coaches, I would like to say thank you. I can remember you all when I made my first million. Keep it up. And thanks.
It feel good and nervous. Then when I get on the track, when I start to run, nervous gone.
Switching gears now on hoops, scores from the Bahamas Basketball Federation round-robin tournament held in New Providence over the weekend. In A-League action, it was Team Showtime from Abaco that went up against Commonwealth Giants for bragging rights. After falling behind early in the contest, Showtime lost to the Giants 107-89 in the championship game. Brandon Meadows was the most valuable defensive player, averaging 4 blocks per game. Bimini's C.J. Sayers was the most valuable offensive player, averaging 23 points to go along with 3 assists. Now in the B-League Championship game, Grand Bahamas Just Run squad lost to Uri Central Giants 110-76. Antoine Bevins was named most valuable offensive player after averaging 27 points on 77% shooting from the field. And finally in sports, scores from week 4 of the Abaco Flag Football League. The Ladies Foxes of Sandy Point defeated the Lady Royals 18-6 in the women's division. And in men's play, the Vikings got the win against the Sharks 53-40 in a high-scoring shootout. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
It's coming to West Grand Bahama. It's the Road to 50 celebration. Saturday, May 27th. Sunset Village, 8 Mile Rock Fish Fry. One family. Sunset Village, 8 Mile Rock Fish Fry. It's coming to West Grand Bahama. Don't miss the Road to 50 celebration. Saturday, May 27th. The West Grand Bahama edition.
It's the afternoon beat. Afternoon beat. 8:10 a.m. Afternoon beat with Zion. Join me Monday to Friday from 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. on 8:10 a.m. It's the afternoon beat with Zion. Take your space.
Athletes across the northern Bahamas inspire us with their performances on and off the field. ZNS is proud to honor these competitors with our Athlete of the Month award. We will select an athlete whose story and accomplishments represents the best in their sporting discipline. Tune in to find out who will be the Athlete of the Month. Will an athlete be you?
Hi, I am Corporal 3230 Perez Demerit of the Traffic Division, Grand Bahama. You can prevent a serious traffic accident by practicing safe driving. Here are a few traffic safety tips. Obey all traffic signals and traffic signs. Wear your seatbelt at all times. Reduce your speed and drive with due care and attention. Pull over to answer your cell phone, send a text message, or attend to any distractions, such as kids, pets, reading the newspaper, or eating. Finally, do not drink and drive.
Good day, good evening, and good vibes to my Power Nation. I hope you guys are doing so good. You know you got it locked in with the one and only Angel M, baby.
What you doing in the sky, gal?
Listening to Power 104.5 FM.
You still listening to the show, gal?
Yes, Angel M still on.
Gal, picture perfect. Yeah. Trouble when she turn it. Need your service. Waistline hot like a furnace. Hey. Gal, what you doing to me? Doing to me. Gal, what you doing to me? Doing to me.
Tune into Good Vibes with Angel M from 2 to 6 on Power 104.5 FM.
They try to push rich on me. They want to push rich on me. They don't care if I'm the company.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Connie Pinder, you are our Facebook friend of the day. Miss Pinder is the mother of our executive assistant, Chantel Lundy. Miss Hospitality, we want to wish you a happy birthday as well, and we hope you're having a blast. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Simone Davis, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, police probe MP allegations. Airport bidding extended. Medical tourism's economic injection. And in sports, toddlers hit the tracks. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by BTC. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, switch to BTC today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The Member of Parliament facing explosive allegations, remaining mum on the incident days after it was reported to authorities, and the alleged victim and her family members taking the story to the public. Cleopatra Murphy has an update on where police investigations stand, with 2 cabinet ministers also weighing in.
A sitting MP accused of the alleged rape and assault of a former girlfriend has yet to be interviewed by police some 2 weeks after the incident reportedly occurred. Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of the Northern Bahamas, BK Bonamy, confirmed that officers received a complaint from the alleged victim more than a week ago, but refrained from identifying the accused.
I never mentioned no person. I never mentioned no MP. I never said, I said a complaint was made. A sitting MP. We will do all our background checks before we do our work before we decide to move forward.
Okay, so
in terms of whoever the complaint is made against, before we sit down and interview anybody, we want to make sure we get all the hard witnesses who can assist with the investigation.
The victim, who spoke to the Tribune and claims to have been in a 2-year relationship with the sitting MP, alleges the accused came to her house on April 4th, forced her into her room, ripped off her jeans and underwear, and forcibly had sex with her despite her objections. It was not until Good Friday on April 7th, the alleged victim says she reported the matter to police, detailing that on another occasion, the accused, who she says had always been verbally abusive, held a knife to her throat and on 2 other occasions choked her until she passed out. When prodded on the likelihood of the MP facing charges and how long the investigation would continue, Bonnaby said only this.
When we investigate, we don't put a time on investigation. We try to do it in a decent manner, right? If I tell you 2 days, I can't say 2 days, I can't say 3 days. I'm just trying to say once we interview persons who can assist with the investigation, then we'll move forward.
Acting Prime Minister the Honourable Chester Cooper pressed specifically on the allegations against the Member of Parliament amidst public concern the accused may receive preferential treatment, gave this response.
There is a complaint with the police in relation to some very serious allegations. I'm certain that the police will investigate aggressively, and we believe in the rule of law. And we are confident that due process will prevail and the police will do their jobs.
Meantime, in the face of the swirling rape allegations, former rape victim Works and Utilities Minister the Honourable Alfred Sayers reiterated his stance on the issue, inclusive of marital rape.
During the debate, and when the debate comes before Parliament, I can state as the Member of Parliament for Fort Charlotte that I support the criminalization of rape in any circumstances. That's my position.
ZNS News made several calls to the accused, none of which were returned. Questioned by reporters outside of the House of Assembly last week, he offered no comment. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis, who is out of country, has also not yet commented on the matter. However, he returns to the capital on Wednesday. All those troubling accusations of rape and assault fueling a response from the Free National Movement's women's branch, whose members are demanding swifter action to be taken against the accused. LaDawn Davis has this angle.
Political affiliations aside, at the end of the day, members of the Free National Movement Women's Branch are relying heavily on the police to conduct a thorough investigation into disturbing allegations of a sitting MP raping and assaulting an ex-girlfriend, and furthermore, to treat this case like any other.
We want an aggressive and a transparent investigation, and we do not want a let's see where this goes, because that is the quote that came from the police when asked. So we are not going to wait and see how it goes. We want you to tell us right now, immediately, the state and the status of your investigation.
Former FNM Senator and attorney Heather Hunt's comments, backed by her colleague, Senator Maxine Seymour, who was appalled by recent comments that the gender-based violence bill will not be rushed to Parliament. Seymour contends that each day the proposed shelter for battered women is stalled, an increasing number of women suffer at the hands of their abuser.
How many more women have to be hurt, possibly fatally, for gender violence to be taken seriously and prioritized by the government? Every day that shelter is delayed is another 24 hours that women are forced to remain in homes that are not safe.
Violence against our daughters, our sisters, and our friends impacts and affects all of us. Not just the victims, but the friends and family members that must walk that journey with them. As legislators, we must embody and embrace the ideals of our legislation. So to have a deafening silence by an administration when these matters are on their doorstep, not on their doorstep, in their house, is unacceptable.
While requesting more visibility from female cabinet ministers and members of parliament on issues affecting women and girls, the FNM Women's Branch recommends that gender-based violence units be created on Grand Bahama and Abaco so that complaints can be made on the island where the incident unfolds. The National Gender-Based Violence Prevention Family Island Coordination Council was launched on Abaco on March 30th, and a second to be launched in Grand Bahama on Friday. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDawn Davis.
Meantime, President of the FNM's Women's Branch, Vanessa Scott, and Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis are decrying the release of gruesome crime scene photos of a slain mother and daughter as senseless, with no regard for the victims and their families.
Persons get off on these gory pictures, and that in itself is very traumatizing, but it goes back to what I spoke about, educating. Those pictures had to come from either the mortician or the police. And herein lies a problem, and that is why I really would like them to be sensitive and empathetic enough to the families of victims so that these pictures of those type are not shared on social media. There's a time and place for everything.
But the fact that we are sharing the photos of persons, yes, they are women, but persons who have been brutally murdered is disgusting. That is somebody's loved one. And I think it's also an indicator of how we have become to objectify.
Well, sadly, those pics making the rounds on social media, much to the distress of the victim's family, who are reportedly considering legal action. Addressing the issue, Police Press Liaison Officer, Chief Superintendent Crystalline Skippings.
Organization, we are very, very concerned about it. I can tell you that we have launched an internal investigation into that matter, and where we find that there is a breach, the person or persons will face consequences. And I want to encourage members of the public to be sensitive to persons who may have lost their loved ones, especially when you see a photograph circulating. For a moment, think of if it's your family, would you like to see that? And let me also say this, actually, when you forward any sort of information that come to your phone, if you forward it, there's something in law referred to as publishing of documents, and that there is actually an offense. And so I want to encourage members of the public, when you see graphic photos or photos of any crime scene or anything of that sort, please do not forward those photographs or pics that you may call them. If you see or if you know of someone who may have had the photo and they're sending it around, give us a call. Additionally,
Also talking to police, unscrupulous motorists using innovative ways to break the law. But as our Charles Fisher tells us, traffic cops are on it.
With the zero tolerance to traffic offenses, officer in charge of the traffic division, Superintendent Paul Cash, and officers were out in the Carmichael Road area early Tuesday morning, where a number of motorists were ticketed and even vehicles towed away for minor offenses.
I assembled a team this morning, a small crew of officers. We were out here on Carmichael Road in front of the Southwest Plaza from about 7:30. And in that time, believe it or not, we have reported over 90, that's right, over 90 persons for different traffic infractions. And we have towed somewhere around 8 to 10 vehicles. Drivers driving without driver's licenses, driving without insurance, being not covered to drive. We've even seen persons with the full windshield tinted. That's a no-no.
Assistant Superintendent Mario Sweeting revealing to ZNS News one of those infractions motorists are trying to get away with.
As you can see, the car is licensed November 2023. On further closer inspection, it's actually 2017, and the license plate was altered also. Instead of AT 5846, it would have been A, the liquid paper, O, the second letter, 2846. Also, the make and model of the vehicle was liquid paper O. So these are the offenses that we deal with every day.
Quite crafty indeed. Cash indicating, however, it's not only about enforcing the law, but also educating and being vigilant.
Any time of the month, any time of the day, you're going to find us out there because we have a mandate to carry out. And so we are here. This is only one of the stops that we have slated for today. And so we're going to take a break, and then we're going to be out somewhere else. And then even tomorrow somewhere else, and even the day after that somewhere else. But we have a mandate to fulfill, and we are going to fulfill that mandate given to us by our commissioner.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Charles Fisher.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
The news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We are a leading Bahamian bank, one of the largest publicly traded companies on BISX. Our measure of strength is our growth and performance, with over $1.7 billion in assets. We remain committed to serving the interests of our shareholders, staff, clients, and communities. The confidence to lead, the performance to remain. We are Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Are you overpaying for low speeds with your internet provider? Stop wasting your money. Switch to BTC for the fastest internet to the most homes in the Bahamas. Get up to 300 megs fiber fast speeds, up to 3 times faster than what you get now. Plus, get 164 TV channels, all for just $42.50 a month for 12 months. That means you'll save $860 for the year. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, BTC is for you. Switch to the largest fiber network in the Bahamas.
Just when Leo was about to buy this useless pair of Hands underwear, he remembered that it was Tuesday. Hungry for deals? You better come satisfy it at KFC before doing something crazy. Crazy Tuesdays! 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Crazy Tuesdays! A finger-licking good deal.
Attention, island friends. This is a parrot service announcement. A manta ray mayday. A turtle alert. Bottlenose news flash. They're in trouble and you can help. Our mission at the Blue Project Foundation is to protect thousands of endangered animals and their homes. One of the ways is by caring for coral reefs, a vital part of our entire ecosystem. Find out how you can help save these majestic animals. Learn more at blueprojectatlantis.org.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers. It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
This segment of the news is brought to you by RBC. Discover mortgage ideas shaped around you. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story to start your story today.
Preparations underway for public sector's mass promotional exercise. As State Minister for the Public Service, the Honorable Pio Glover-Roll has explained such promotions have not taken place since 2014. This then means that once the exercise begins, a significant number of public servants will be bumped up.
The workforce audit continues. We need to determine who are the public servants that are working in the various ministries. Then the ministries have to send recommendations. After they go through their registers and we cross-check, we need to ensure that persons are not left behind. So this means ministries, between the public service and other ministries, we may have a back and forth to ensure that everyone that is eligible is their files are brought into the public service ministry.
According to the minister, once the process begins, here's the next step.
There's ensuring that the files are properly prepared, and then there's movement to the Public Service Commission. So there's a process before we get to the promotions. So we've started the process now so that we're not waiting for the fiscal year. We can engage these promotions as quickly and as swiftly as possible.
The initial bidding of the government's multi-million-dollar redevelopment airport project has been extended by another 2 weeks. That pushes it to the end of April. Confirming as much was Minister of Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, who says potential bidders asked for more time to gather the necessary documents.
We've had a significant level of interest and requests, not just locally, but from around the world. For what we call the Family Island Renaissance Project. As you know, we're building out 14 airports. This is no small undertaking, and we have attracted the interest of major airport developers and managers around the world. They've indicated that the information we requested was quite onerous. We want to get this right. We want them to provide the information that we need so that we can do the proper analysis. And based on the level of interest, we thought it prudent to extend the process to ensure that we get all of the information, but also the most credible bidders at the table to participate. This is a process. We acknowledge this from a business perspective, and we want to ensure we give people the best opportunity to respond adequately.
Now, Cooper sees the airport redevelopment project as playing a key role in transforming and revitalizing Family Island economies.
These airports are the gateway to the Family Islands. Connectivity is absolutely critical for our way of life, but also for our tourism industry. As you know, the government owns 30 airports across the country. We simply do not have the resources to redevelop and renovate all of them. And therefore, we thought that a PPP process is the way to go. I'm pretty enthused about what we've seen so far by way of responses, and I'm looking forward to what we will receive over the course of the next 30 days.
And speaking of travel, it's the 4th largest city in the U.S., and following the last leg of its mission to Texas, the tourism minister is branding the Houston leg a productive one. Cleopatra Murphy has the story.
Securing investor dollars and increasing airlift to the Bahamas were priority areas for Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, who while in Houston, Texas, met with officials from the Houston airport system and its partners. Cooper says the group are potential partners in the PPP process for the country's airport redevelopment project, and he is also intent on growing private aviation.
It brings a high-spending, high-end, high-net-worth clientele, many of whom we convert to be investors. So they come as tourists, they end up investing in homes and business and other possibilities in our country. So this is a market that Houston will bring to us.
Eager to attract sports business, Cooper met with officials from the Houston Rockets that he says will host its training camp in Nassau this September. Also on the agenda was a meeting with Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner, who Cooper says not only intends to visit the Bahamas, but will facilitate an investment mission in several months.
There's significant wealth here. There are many of our second homeowners who live in Houston, who are well-heeled billionaires in many respects. So we hope to come and meet their friends and convince them to invest in the Bahamas as well.
It was an interview at a local TV station, though, where he was accompanied by the Chambers Junkanoo Group that Cooper sees as the crowning moment of the Texas trip, as they were able to leave a taste of the Bahamas in Houston.
I think that was the highlight of the day, being able to showcase our country along with our Director General and be able to invite Houston to come to the celebrations in the Bahamas as we celebrate proudly our 50th anniversary.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
In other news, Agriculture Minister, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, is convinced allaying concerns surrounding food security not only calls for growing more items locally, but placing local farmers in a position to earn more funds while doing their part. Sweeting was speaking on the sidelines of the recent launch of BAMSI's Egg Academy initiative.
So the Golden Yolk Project would be one of those. Currently, we spend around $50 million on eggs. We're also looking at vertical farming. The ministry has also purchased some vertical farms. Also, the greenhouse parks, which BAMSI is leading on, where we're spending millions of dollars throughout the country putting these greenhouse parks to give farmers access to the new ways of doing things, where they can grow year-round in these cooling houses. So eggs alone will reduce imports by 1%. If we now remain specific on greens currently we import about 12% of our food that we eat are greens. So once we get that up and going, I'm sure that you know, one specific target at a time. I think that's the way, and that's how we've been looking at it since we took over the ministry.
Stem cell research, anti-aging methods, and wellness key areas of focus during the official opening of the three-day Heal Inc. Summit at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort last evening. Health and Wellness Minister, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, at the time noting that a stem cell research bill made its way to the House of Assembly but encountered some challenges.
Medical tourism is big, and this is an element of medical tourism. We have about 8 years experience with the passing of the stem cell legislation in 2013. We have learned a lot, and based on what we have learned and where we're heading, we need now to look at the old piece of legislation. We tried to see how we could amend it. It's difficult to amend. It's a little bit difficult to work, and so we need to repeal and replace it to incorporate some of the new technologies and research that is going on around the world as it relates to anti-aging, biotechnology, longevity, new stem cell therapies, and the list goes on and on.
Meantime, leading medical specialists from around the world marking day 2 of discussions on future innovative medicine and technology relating to a variety of conditions like mental health, stem cell, and anti-aging. The opportunity presenting itself during the Heal Inc. Incorporated Summit, as indicated at the Atlantis Resort Theater. Organized by local medical expert Dr. Desiree Cox, the annual event is in its 3rd year. Addressing participants this morning, Acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper applauded the group for their level of work in what he called bringing the future of medicine to the present towards improving the quality of life. He went on to express optimism that such work could have a positive impact on the Bahamas.
The content that you present over these 3 days will be of great value to the Bahamas, in particular as we grapple with a health crisis, which identifies us as being amongst the countries in the Americas with the highest probability of dying too young from non-communicable diseases. Our local health professionals and policymakers will be taking notes, I'm sure, and learning best practices from around the world.
Now, as indicated, what's equally important is the advancement of medical tourism here. That's what Dr. Desiree Cox is lobbying for in an initiative fully endorsed by the acting Prime Minister.
We're looking medical tourism, longevity, biotech investments in the Bahamas. These are the top-tier speakers, the top-tier leaders, the top-tier innovators from China, from Malaysia, from Sweden, from Germany, from across the United States, all of them here. They're presenting on what they're working on, what's in the future, what's in the near future, what's now. And we want that work to happen in the Bahamas.
This event is important not just for tourism, though. It's important for the future of science, the future of medicine. And I commend Dr. Desiree Cox for putting on this event today. I think the lineup is absolutely exceptional.
Well, now time for the weekly poll question, and this week we're asking, are environmentalist concerns regarding the RCI Beach Club project warranted? Yes or no? To participate, simply log on to our website, and that's www.znesbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. The poll's final results will be aired on Friday. And as always, thanks for participating. Well, be sure to tune into the ZNES Network between 2 and 4 p.m. starting Wednesday through Saturday for a regatta time to catch the lucky code for our Watch and Win promotion. Winners for each day will be announced on Saturday. Watch and Win is your chance to win just for watching. Big prizes include cell phones from BTC, cases of Cuba Libre, free credit to your Sand Dollar wallet, and a 15-inch ThinkPads courtesy of Security Depot. So tune in at 2 p.m. this Wednesday and follow the instructions to start winning today. The National Report returns in a moment. Stay with us.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the 50th Independent Secretariat Golden Jubilee Song Competition, open to all Bahamian creatives. Entries must be submitted by Friday, May 5th, 2023. For details, go to www.celebrate-bahamas.com.
Spring is here and Easter is right around the corner. Thinking about moving forward with your personal goals that require money? Fidelity Bank can get you approved in no time without the red tape and the runaround. Fidelity offers competitive interest rates and minimum fees. The loan that you need and can afford is just a phone call away.
This moment in time, very, very exciting for me, and to know that we can have this time to look back and right now in the present see his lovely wife and children who has weathered the storms with him in getting this country where we are right now. We thank God for the legacy.
He is such an inspirational individual. He is what many may say that is a perfect representation of a true leader.
And the legacy for me that Sir Lyndon Pindling left was all about freedom.
For my generation, Sir Lyndon Pindling was everything, because without him, I wouldn't be standing here doing what I have been doing for the past 30 years.
I never look at it the same way as him as just a man.
He has given everything that he had, including his family, and definitely left a legacy behind that can never, ever be forgotten.
I love that we have the chance to just say thank you for his work.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical, to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Bahamians are rediscovering Grand Bahama through immersive staycation experiences at Lighthouse Point Grand Lucaya. Pamper yourself at our Senses Spa or savor exotic cocktails by the sea. Unwind and enjoy serenity, 18 holes of golf, fine dining, romance, business conventions and meetings, grand outdoor events. For Bahamas resident rates at Lighthouse Point, call 242-373-1333 or WhatsApp message 827-8195.
Hi everyone, this is Tony Williams from Star 106.5 FM in Nassau, Bahamas. On my recent trip to Florida for Jazz in the Gardens, I got to drive this amazing car, the all-electric vehicle Polestar. The performance is amazing, plus it's sleek and sporty, and with a lot of luggage space for us Caribbean people. You know what I mean. You can try it out on your next trip to Florida. Go to gogoflorida.com, bahamasair.com, or sales office and book it today.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Birthed in the Family Islands, regattas have come to represent a quintessential cultural expression of our islands. Sailing and regatta is to the Family Islands what Junkanoo is to New Providence.
The story of the origin of regattas changes from island to island, with many bragging that their island was the first to set sail in competitive sloop sailing. See How the Main Sail Sets, a documentary depicting the history of sloop sailing here in the Bahamas, is a creative, informative video production aimed at educating the world on where it all began.
So, what made Georgetown ideal for staging a sailing race? It was the harbor. Georgetown Harbor provided one of the best protected waterfronts in Exuma, and perhaps even the entire chain of islands.
It's the best harbor. When the founders decided to put on this event, my understanding, I was still a little boy, they traveled throughout all the Family Islands and they determined they wanted to know where would be the best place to have this regatta. And they decided upon Elizabeth Harbor.
After the sponging industry came to an end, the boats were then used as workboats. The style of those boats were then changed to what we see today. March 26th to the 28th, 1954, was when the Out Island Regatta, led by committee leader Linton Riggs, set sail.
So I was down there in 54 when Linton Riggs organized that regatta. As I remember, he came to Man of War first, you see, and then he migrated on down the Keys.
The idea was to try and support the working fleet in the Bahamas and keep a regatta going for this type of boat. But over the years, it's evolved.
And now, nearly 70 years later, soup sailing has officially been named the national sport of the Bahamas, where it is all said to have started in Georgetown, Exuma, at the annual National Family Island Regatta. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
Good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
I thought the march was very, very good. Today we're celebrating 61 years, Doris Johnson, what she did to promote women to bring us to this stage to where we are today.
Seeing the little girls was the coolest part to me because, you know, that's our future.
I actually thought it was amazing to see so many females come out and support one another. It makes me know that, you know, we have actually grown. I know where we came from, and I know we have to go further.
A woman's march, that is something that's very different, so I really liked it, and I feel like it's a great turnout for being the first one.
I feel good. I'm proud to be a woman in this Bahama land.
I am so proud to be a woman in the Bahamas.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
This is the super versatile Ring Stick-Up Cam. It goes indoors, outdoors, outdoors in the rain. It's got two-way talk. Hey, Eddie. Works with Alexa. Comes in tons of power options and works with Ring Alarm to start recording automatically if something's going on. Seriously? Seriously. So start protecting your home with the easy installing indoor-outdoor Stick-Up Cam by Ring.
This next story for all you pet lovers or owners, local veterinarians are capitalizing on Heartworms Month to educate Bahamians about the symptoms, treatments, and the impact the illness has on the health of our four-legged fur babies. LaDawn Davis has the story.
It all starts with a little prick in the flesh by a mosquito that rapidly develops into an infection of worms that interrupts the functions of the pulmonary arteries in the heart. Veterinarian Dr. Kwesi Smith says heartworms could cause your furry four-legged friend to experience fatigue and coughing before officially being diagnosed and treated.
Once we diagnose, there are several options for treatment depending on which veterinarian, and the treatment plan is also definitely catered to the specific animal. So one treatment plan doesn't really work for every animal. Something simple like age, a 2-year-old versus a 13-year-old, I would approach it in a different way when it comes to the treatment plan, because an older animal would probably have some intrinsic age-related heart problems anyway.
According to Dr. Smith, heartworms could last about 5 to 7 years, and your dog, if it's not treated, could pose more harm than good.
We can diagnose heartworm as early as 10 months old. Heartworm disease is and should be screened for at least once a year in your pet, at least once a year, to make sure that we don't have the infection, to make sure we have them on the right preventatives. Because sometimes I see animals come in and they're not on preventatives, so then we have a very costly situation to go through. It's obstructive and can cause numerous problems. Early onset heart failure, blockage of very major arteries around the body. In animals and humans, your heart and your kidneys are intrinsically linked. So heart disease, especially from heartworms or any other factors, can lead to kidney failure also.
Dr. Smith says he's diagnosed about 5 to 10 dogs per week, and cats, too, get their fair share of the disease that's a bit difficult to detect. But as Heartworm Month comes to an end in about 2 weeks, he's encouraging pet owners to take preventative measures by conducting early screenings to stop heartworms years before it affects their pets. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm the John Davis.
Well, come Thursday, the 50th Independent Secretariat will present the latest masterclass series of lectures, The Role of the Church, moderated by Bishop Denzel Rowe, with a panel comprising Ambassador Devon, Reverend Diana Francis, Pastor Mario Moxie, Pastor Rakino Monker, Reverend T.G. Morrison, and Pastor Leonardo Ramming. The event begins at 6:30 p.m. at the Miles Monroe Diplomat Center, Bahamas Faith Ministries. You can also tune in virtually via Facebook on the Celebrate Bahamas page. As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Sometimes life hints at your next step, sending you signs all around, even in unexpected places, to lead you in the right direction. The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage and switch to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch your mortgage to Scotiabank. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. Paying less gives you more when you switch to Scotiabank.
It's almost time for Regatta, and this year it's a big, big splash. You can watch the National Family Island Regatta live on ZNS every day and win big. Just tune in to ZNS TV's live regatta coverage on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, April 19th, 20th, and 21st from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and watch for the different code word each day. Then go to www.znsbahamas.com and enter the code words and your information, and you'll be eligible to win big prizes like cell phones from BTC, cases of Cuba Libre, free credit to your $100 wallet, and 15-inch Lenovo ThinkPads courtesy of Security Depot. Then listen to the Saturday, April 22nd live regatta coverage from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. to hear the names of the lucky winners, and you could be just one of them. It's a big, big splash this year. The National Family Island Regatta, the ZNS Television Network, and you, a winning combination.
Link up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corval Pyfrom. Our A team in the Northern Bahamas has just become the A++ team with the appointment of Dominic Petty as the new executive senior manager for that district. And all across the company, we could not be any happier to welcome Dominic to that new role.
I'm actually excited at this time to be a part of BTC at this time. I was welcomed with open arms, not just by the senior leadership team, but as well as the team here on the ground. I think the opportunity here in Grand Bahama is very ripe, and I really look forward to addressing the needs and the concerns of the customers. So I'm very excited to work along with the team here. They're excited, and so we're going to do a lot of good things as it relates to what's happening in Grand Bahama. And again, I'm excited to be a part of the BTC team and be a part of the bigger and better network.
Dominic brings a wealth of experience, the character and integrity that we need. Grand Bahama is important to us. This is the second biggest engine for BTC in the company, a critical part of our organization. In fact, we've recently rolled fiber in South Riding, Basset Cove, Pelican Point, and McLeanstown. Why? For better broadband. We're bringing better broadband. And Dominic Petty is the man here
for this role.
Here at BTC, the brightest and best are in place to ensure we give you an A-plus customer experience. Congratulations, Dominic, and our team in the Northern Bahamas. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pyfrom. Be well, and be back here. Next, BTC Connection.
Centuries, Bahamians have been known as masters of the sea, from the Lucayans and Arawaks, swashbuckling pirates, quaint workboats to meticulously crafted sloop race boats. Bahamians have evolved the sport of sailing as it plays an integral part of our culture. For more than 70 years, Bahamians have displayed passion and grit for the sport, and it is one that has bridged the gap between young and older Bahamians. We are proud to anchor sailing as the national sport of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Key stakeholders in the country's marine sector participating in a conclave focusing on ways to mitigate and reverse the damage being done to the country's coral reefs by the stony coral disease, or skiddle-dee. The disease found in Grand Bahama back in 2019 has since spread to other family islands, including Andros, Eleuthera, Exuma, San Salvador, Cat Island, Long Island, Grand Bahama, and here in New Providence, but studies showing it is spreading faster than any other. Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources, the Honorable Vaughn Miller, admits urgent action is needed to stem the spread of the disease, which can adversely impact the country's tourism product.
Coral reefs are a major fabric of our lives. They are ecologically important and play a vital role in supporting the economy and the livelihoods that depend on them. They act as natural barriers, protecting coastlines from erosion and storm surges during severe weather events.
Well, speaking of weather, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather, and for that we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Patchy clouds this evening outside of our studios. The temperature, well, just around 78 degrees. The relative humidity at 74%. We have north-northeast winds at 16 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,014.0 millibars. That's 29.94 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 78 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Green Toll Key and Abaco, Marshall, Babaco at 76 degrees, the Berry Island 78, Alsam, Bimini 79, 77 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera 79 degrees, Black Point, Exuma, and Camp Space at Andros at 80, 79 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros, and Artistown, Cat Island, also San Salvador and Rumkey reporting 79 degrees, Georgetown, Exuma at 80, 80s also in Ragged Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands, Matthew Town, Inago 81, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern parts of our country, the winds, they're going to be northerly at 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet. Caution flags are up. High tide, that will occur at 7:34 this evening. For the central Bahamas, northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. In the southeast Bahamas, we have a southeast flow at 10 to 15, the wave heights also at 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, the northwestern parts of our country, the winds rotate clockwise, becoming northeast-east, continuing to increase in speeds, 15 to 20 knots, the wave heights building further, 4 to 6 feet, maintaining that caution flag for the northwest Bahamas. High tide tomorrow will take place at 7:53 in the morning, with the low tide at 2:06 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Wednesday, a more zonal component, that is winds blowing from the east at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights at 2 to 4 feet. On Thursday, in the northwest Bahamas, we also have that zonal flow, but the winds drop off just a tad to about 12 to 18 knots, wave heights subsiding 3 to 6 feet, but once again maintaining the caution flag. High tide on Thursday will take place at 8:39 in the morning, with the low tide at 2:49 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands on Thursday, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. for your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Shorts. But stay tuned. Extended weather forecast is still ahead.
First we plan, then we innovate, then we build. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we are committed to quality, to safety, and to service. We know that the road you take is just as important as your final destination. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, it is our job to make sure the road and the ride are as smooth as possible. From striping roads to building them, we are the right choice, the trusted choice, the only choice to help you build your tomorrow.
Original or hot and spicy?
I'm cooked the hard way, no corners cut to live life the fried way. 11 herbs and spices, that's all I can say.
If you wanna take a bite, I'm just a little tanky, but a whole lot of feisty. Yeah, I'm the chick with the kick, they call me hot and spicy.
There's no winning flavor. They're all finger-licking good.
Come on down at the Red Cross National Fair. Don't you meet me, beat me there. It's a family affair. Oh yes, it's that time again. Go tell your neighbors, tell your friend. As the children play, you can dance the night away. Yes, they got boogaloo, games and junk and so much more. So jump in your car, catch all the fun, enough for everyone. At the Red Cross National Fair. Don't you meet me, beat me there. It's the family affair. Come on, yell at the Red Cross National Fair. Don't you meet me, beat me there.
Gents, Mother's Day is coming up, and I'm thinking about upgrading my kids' mother's kitchen.
Man, I thought your children's mother was married to another man. You have to know when to let go. This is powerful. You know what? I'm going to upgrade my wife's kitchen for Mother's Day. I am sure she would love that.
I think so too. Check out Cornet Bahamas. They're having a pre-Mother's Day sale, 35% off store-wide starting April 16th through May 16th. The Sandy Port Plaza, Freeport, Abaco, and Ilu.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. The 242 was well represented last night at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida, as Bahamian baseball star Jazz Chisholm and his Miami Marlins would welcome Anton Richardson and his San Francisco Giants to town for the start of their three-game series. Richardson serves as a first base coach for San Fran. Chisholm with a big night. He would go 2 for 4 with a run scored, an RBI, and 1 steal as the Marlins would defeat the Giants 4-3. 25-year-old has been generally off to a slow start this season, slashing just .237 with 2 homers. Hopefully he will be able to pick up the pace quickly, starting with these Giants again later tonight. The little ones were out in full force today at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, all a part of the Andrea Wisdom track meet put on by the Ministry of Education and Peter Bridgewater and Open Systems Limited. Our Charles Fisher was there and filed this report.
It was a spirited start to the 6th annual Andrea Wisdom Government Schools Primary Track Championships at a hot Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. 28 schools taking part, marching in the famous Coco Melon theme song, and if you have young kids, you should know the tune. The meet named in honor of the former educator and avid sports fan and sister of former sports minister, Neville Wisdom.
Andrea D. Wisdom was a pioneer in early childhood education. During the ministerial stint by Paul L. Adderley, Andre told his nation that children, even under the age of primary school, could learn. And as a result of that, she set out on a journey to ensure that preschool education was formalized and that it was organized. And today we have this beautiful example, this beautiful demonstration of preschool education and all of these beautiful young boys and girls who will one day become the leaders of the Bahamas of tomorrow.
Also bringing remarks, Assistant Director of Early Childhood Education, Leisha Burrows.
Developing the whole child is an essential component in the Ministry of Education's preschool philosophy. Children should engage in activities which enhance growth and development in all areas, including language, cognitive, social and emotional, creative, and physical development. The Sports Day aligns with the preschool curriculum, the revised physical curriculum, which focuses on the physical fitness, health, safety, and wellness of preschoolers.
Officially opening the meet was the Minister of State in the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Zane Lightbourne.
All winners in my book. There are no losers here today because the fact that you are here as a young Bahamian participating, whether it's through your activities or through your participation as a cheerleader for your school, you are a winner.
And as a special treat, Buttonwood Preschool were all given free lunch vouchers at a local fast food restaurant for winning the Spirit Award during the opening ceremony March past. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
With the 67th National Family Island Regatta right on the horizon, the trash talk among sailors has already begun. And if you let our Ricardo Lightbourne tell it, it's as fierce as ever. More in this report.
The 67th National Family Island Regatta is just about ready to start. Today was all about preparation. Let me tell you, the sloops were put in the water. Put the mast in, ready to go. Complete all the sailing and the rigging. Well, meet the sailors, and now it's time for trash talking. Arlington Keith Brown will sail the Sweet Island Gal, and he says, bring it on.
I've been coming to Georgetown for a lot of years from Barber J time as a young boy. And I got my own sea class, which is Sweet Island Gal, and I've never won a race in Georgetown. So this year is going to be different, and I just want to put out the warning, you know, that a lot of people is going to be crying. It's going to be a lot of tears. Tell them bring a lot of bags, because they're going to be toting a lot of stuff, right? And it's going to be wonderful. I mean, this fleet is the biggest fleet from the regatta start in the pandemic. Throughout all of that, we didn't sail, and now we're back together as one, and it should be wonderful. And we don't want nobody crying. Just come to have some fun. Let's do this thing. Let's get this over and make this wonderful.
Sheldon Gibson will be there as well. He will sail the Udiva, and also he's got Sands Light. Sheldon understands sailing in Elizabeth Harbor.
After we were off for so long, boy, this feels like Christmas this morning. And I'm enjoying it, and I feel like it's going to be a very good time.
Dennis Chucky Smith. He will be on the Lady Eunice, and get this, the Red Stripe. He says, don't talk, just sail.
All the sailors are really live and jumping because Georgetown was closed down now for 4 years, so we ain't sailed. So right now everybody is hot, temperature rising, Red Stripe gonna do it. Red Stripe have the market right now. Everybody respect, Red Stripe is back, and we know we can carry the crown back to Black when it comes out.
Home water, you know Elizabeth Harbor. You going on record?
Going on record to say, Red Stripe will be number one in Elizabeth Harbor this year.
The defending champions of 2019 in Class A, the new legend, David Knowles, your skipper. In Class B, you've got the Lonesome Dove out of Abaco, Jeff Gale. And in Class C, it is the Whitty K sailed by Stephen Knowles. It's anyone's game this year. Bring it or don't say it. Ricardo Lightbourne, ZNS Total Sports.
That's a look at your sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
50.
Wow, what a legacy. At CBS Bahamas, we've been helping you build beautiful for 50 years. We look forward to 50 more years and beyond in continuing to be the nation's one-stop shop for home building and improvement. CBS Bahamas. Build beautiful.
It's almost time for regatta, and this year it's a big, big splash. You can watch the National Family Island Regatta live on ZNS every day and win big. Just tune in to ZNS TV's live regatta coverage on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, April 19th, 20th, and 21st from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and watch for the different code word each day. Then go to www.znsbahamas.com and enter the code words and your information, and you'll be eligible to win big prizes like cell phones from BTC, cases of Cuba Libre, free credit to your Sand Dollar wallet, and 15-inch Lenovo ThinkPads courtesy of Security Depot. Then listen to the Saturday, April 22nd live regatta coverage from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. to hear the names of the lucky winners, and you could be just one of them. It's a big, big splash this year. The National Family Island Regatta, the ZNS Television Network, and you, a winning combination.
Centuries, Bahamians have been known as masters of the sea, from the Lucayans and Arawaks, swashbuckling pirates, quaint workboats to meticulously crafted sloop race boats. Bahamians have evolved the sport of sailing as it plays an integral part of our culture. For more than 70 years, Bahamians have displayed passion and grit for the sport, and it is one that has bridged the gap between young and older Bahamians. We are proud to anchor sailing as the national sport of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, satellite pictures showing that front boundary which dumped heavy rains and thunderstorms across parts of the northwest and central Bahamas last evening. Well, that's now making its way into the southeast Bahamas, leaving behind an area of high pressure which will generate some moderate breezes over the next few days. And the rains will return by Thursday of this week. Tonight, though, looking at patchy clouds, 73 degrees for your low temperature. And tomorrow, pretty nice day, partly sunny, a bit breezy, 82 degrees for your high temperature. And the extended weather forecast looking like this. Pretty nice weather tomorrow, but that will be short-lived as we expect some showers to return on Thursday with even some thunderstorms in the mix, particularly in the afternoon hours. But that will clear up quite nicely on Friday as we head into the weekend. We're looking at some beautiful conditions. Say for Sunday, we're going to have a couple of showers developing as well. Temperature-wise, we're going to remain quite warm despite the passage of that front. Not much change in our temperatures at all, with those nighttime temperatures just hovering there in the low 70s. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. As we close, we want to give a big shout out to Carl Bethel, who turns 84 years old today. Bethel played an integral role in the development of the Broadcasting Corporation as the radio program director. He also trained 2 generations of ZNS radio and television announcers. Happy birthday, Carl Bethel. Well, that does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.